It's a good day to have a good day. Hello, everybody. My name's TC Ray. Thanks for joining me here at Break the Dish, where we break the news and dish out the tea. Breakers, how are you today? I'll tell you, I live on the East Coast, and I am so glad that weather has passed. I didn't even think we were going to see sun again. I mean, ugh, miserable. But I'll tell you what, we are recapping The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6. Can you believe that? Season 6, Episode 5. I've enjoyed this season so far. I have. It's been a little bit of a slow start, but I'll tell you, ma'am, Lisa Barlow, woo, I mean, she is something else this season. I mean, like, I've never really been a huge fan of Lisa Barlow, but I can tell you that it's painful to watch. Let's just put it that way. I mean, don't you agree? I mean, she is off the rails. But before we get into it, you know what to do. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because here we break the dish. We are recapping The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 5. Now, remember, we kind of left off last week where Angie was kind of confessing to Meredith that when they weren't getting along, Lisa Barlow was telling Angie how to dig up dirt on Meredith's family. So that's kind of like where we left off last week. So that definitely plays a part in today's episode. This episode starts off with Whitney, and she's inviting all the ladies to a winery to have a beautiful day sipping wine. And, I love a good invitation. I love a creative invitation. I think it really sets the tone for the event that you're getting ready to go to. And this was no exception. I absolutely loved it with the wildflowers and that's basically the invitation with just a nice little note attached to the flowers, inviting each housewife. And I thought that was great. As each wife arrives, you get to see the winery. It's beautiful setting. W- Well, except for Mary. I mean, God love Mary. She's like, this is bad juju. Like, why? Why is she having it here? And then she goes on to tell the producer, like, you know, well, the husband, the owner of the winery, he killed his wife, then he killed himself, and he did it in front of the dog. And the dog was never the same. This is why everyone loves Mary for those types of stories. You know what I mean? So all the different wives are arriving, and Meredith explains that she has not had a chance to speak to Lisa Barlow, but she's definitely going to bring this up. And, she was like, we've been in a good space this past year, but if she did say those things to Angie, it's not acceptable. Well, yeah, you think? It shouldn't come to a surprise to Meredith or any of these women. I mean, this is what Lisa Barlow has been accused of since day one. She's always had something to say behind people's backs. She's always looking up, you know, information on all the housewives. I mean, and that's what she does. I mean, this should not be any shocker. So Whitney starts off the event with a toast about how she is, you know, wanting to be transparent and live her life free and getting back to herself. I don't know if that means getting back around a stripper pole too, but that's her toast. And it was a nice, don't get me wrong, I'm joking. But it was a very nice toast. And that she wanted to, be there with all her friends, which pretty sure she says that loosely about some of them. And she also tells the housewives that she has a special treat, a surprise. She's flown somebody in from New York, and everybody's like, ooh. And she's like, well, I've flown in, get this, a intuitive consultant. Well, you would have thought that Bronwyn just won the lottery. I'm serious. I mean, she was like, oh, I love this. I love this. I love this. And then in her interview, she's like, intuitive consultant, bohemian coach. She even had a pet tarot reader at Gucci. I mean, like, she's here for it. And of course, Mary's like, like, she don't play that game. What did she say they called them? Soothslayers in the Bible? They call them soothslayers. I've never really heard of that. But, and then she was like, sometimes the devil like speaks through them too. Mm-hmm. God love Mary. So anyway, Terrence is the intuitive consultant. Poor Terrence, he didn't know what he was in for. I mean, he must watch The Real Housewives, don't get me wrong. And he probably was thinking, they won't kick it up while I'm there. No, never. But then things were going well, and then Angie decides to mention to everyone that she is selling her house. Now, it's been on the market for according to Brittany, 200 years, listen to me, 200 days. But she goes on to explain to everyone how she's in the middle of selling her house and how she would love to have a place like this with peacocks and horses and stuff like that, and right now they have a very modern house with a very small backyard. And, Brittany gets, her panties in a twist and is like, why didn't you ask me to sell your house? Well, just like Angie said, like, I just met you like yesterday, and her daughter's godmother's an agent. Yeah, why wouldn't she use her daughter's godmother? I mean, somebody, number one, that she trusts, that might be a first. I'm not saying that, Brittany is not a talented real estate agent, but you know, you don't have to sell everybody's house, Brittany. Come on. Maybe it's best being back on Broadway, which, by the way, she can sing. She was on Broadway. Matter of fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, she might have performed in Miss Saigon. I think that's what Andy Cohen was saying. Anyway, she really is talented, by the way. But when all this is going down, who do you think called? Who do you think called Brittany's phone? Mm-hmm. That's right, Jared. And you know, everyone's like, has it been 30 days? She's like, no, it's been 24 hours. There is something wrong with this chick. Do you understand? I mean, in the last episode, Whitney really was trying to talk some sense into this chick. She was saying like, look, this is your daughter, and if your daughter, whoa, see, my microphone doesn't like it when I talk like that. Uh, your daughter's only asking for like, some time with you not dating. Why can't you do that? Like, just take 30 days, stop dating, and concentrate on your relationship with your daughter. This chick couldn't even make it more than 24 hours. Seriously, Brittany? Really? Let's see. Jared Osmond. I know that last name's gotcha. Or your daughter. I mean, it is just crazy. And then Whitney goes on to say how uh, Jared came over to the house and was talking to Justin, and they flip back and you see a couple days ago he was there, and how he was telling Justin how basically Brittany uses him for his money is basically what he was saying, and he only hears from her again when like basically she wants to go on vacation or something. Like, are you kidding me? Really? I mean, really? We're talking about Brittany, right? The one that can't leave this guy for more than 24 hours for her own child, and she's using you for your money? Give me a break. I mean, this guy, listen, no love lost with the whole cast and this guy, but I mean, hello, he really is a piece of work. I want to tell you about this website called Morning Save. I am obsessed with this website. Their motto is big savings, top brands, new daily. Seriously, that's their motto. Big savings, top brands, new daily. That is exactly what it is. I've been a member with them for about 2 years now. I love them. Matter of fact, this is how I do on my Christmas shopping. I'm not kidding. You can get stuff 70% off, 80% off, sometimes 90% off. I'm not joking. From jewelry to luxury handbags to vacuum cleaners. I mean, you name it, this site has it. And we are talking cheap. I'm not joking. And so now I'm going to share it with all of you, my breakers. So make sure that you look down in the description, and I have the link of how to get to Morning Save. Make sure you do this. I'm not joking. You will save so much money. It doesn't hurt to look, right? So go to the link, click on it, and I guarantee you when you see this, you're going to be like, Cece, why didn't you tell us sooner? I mean, it is a hidden secret, and now I'm sharing it with all of you, my breakers. Morning Save. Check it out in the link down below. Basically, she needs to spend time with her daughters, and in her interview, she's like, I got chills. Like, he's the real deal. Like, I don't know how he would have known that. And then the funny thing is like the producers go back with like 1,000 clips of her telling everybody and the brothers. She was probably, telling a bus driver like how she doesn't get along with her daughters. So that was kind of funny. And then while she's in there, Meredith decides to bring up the whole fiasco with Lisa. So she goes on and says, listen, Lisa and I have, worked on our relationship the last year, and we promised each other that if we had any issues that we would come to each other directly. So, Lisa, I'm going to have to ask you, have you been spreading lies about my family? And Lisa's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then she like looks right at Angie and she's like, well, Satan looks like they might know something. Like, I mean, here goes Lisa Barlow again, like coming out of the gate hot, calling Angie Satan. I mean, was that necessary? No. Did she do it? Yeah. And so then Angie's like, I don't say anything that's not factual. And of course, Lisa's denying everything. And, then Lisa brings up about how Angie's talking about her kids. And Angie's like, I never spoke about your kids. And she's like, well, you spoke about, my kid's hair care line and then all of a sudden, like, these two are going at it, and Meredith's like, not the kids, stop talking about the kids, like, you're hurting everybody, and what a mess, right? So, in the meantime, now, Brittany comes back from Terrence, and now it's Bronwyn's turn, and Bronwyn's, like, scooting off, like, Oh, I've never been so excited to see Brittany. Like, I'm out of here. And when Brahma was with Terrence, he kept saying, why do I keep seeing brain? And she said, well, my mom had surgery. And basically, he says to her, look, you're going to have to make peace with your mother. And that she's not going to basically fully recover, that there's going to be another procedure. And this time it's basically not good. So now she comes back to the table and she's about to burst in tears. These two are still going at it. And then Meredith starts yelling like, stop, stop, and, you know, Brahman's like, by this point, like red faced, like absolutely, you know, heartbroken that her intuitive counselor or consultant or whatever told this about her mother. And by the way, how about her mother? What's her name? Muzzy? Muzzy needs to go back to the hole she climbed out of. Seriously. And I say that with love. I mean, she is really rough around the edges. I mean, really rough. I've seen this all over social media this past week. Everybody is feeling so bad for Bronwyn. Lots of love to Bronwyn because this is what she grew up with. When her mother turned around and was like, talking about her pregnancy and like, how do you think I felt when I had to try and hide it? I mean, you could not get colder. Seriously, you could not get colder. And I get it, like I grew up with a mother that was like really could be harsh and cold at times. And they some I think that uh some people feel as though like the more harsh they are, the more colder they are. Oh, I'm a good person. I'm a better person. That's me showing strength. And that's not really it. That's not You're not showing strength. And it's a shame because you could really see that Bronwyn, uh, last episode I'm talking about. I mean, she really kept it together with this conversation with her mother. And of course, it's her mother. I mean, she's going to be upset. So with Terrence telling her that there's going to be another procedure and this time she might not fully recover, no matter how harsh this woman is of a mother to her, uh, it's still your mother, basically. You know what I mean? And so anyway, Terrence is done with Bronwyn, and meanwhile, these two are still battling it out. I mean, Angie and Lisa, and you know, Angie's accusing Lisa of. Well, wait a minute. Lisa is accusing Angie, excuse me, of borrowing money to take vacations. Um, are you kidding me? There is an actual lawsuit, Lisa Barlow, where this gentleman is saying that he paid your American Express bill and he wants his money back. I mean, that's in public record. That's not an alleged. That's not like that's in public record. And here you are. Deflect, deflect, deflect. That's what she does best. And so Angie, of course, gets back at her by talking about her facelift and how, her face looks like she's been through a wind tunnel, which I mean, Heather like puts the napkin over top of her head. Like, I mean, you can't help but laugh at this stuff. I mean, really, you can't make this shit up. So Lisa and Angie are still going at it. And, the whole like, they're almost like little kids, like, nanny, nanny, boo, boo, that type of thing. And then, Whitney at one point is like yelling at Angie, like, to stop talking, please just stop talking. And I mean, and then like when Bronwyn finally like tells everybody at the table, like what Terrence said, like the whole table got quiet and Lisa Barlow was like, oh yeah, that's really sad. But Angie, I mean, like, if they gave Bronwyn 30 seconds of quiet, you were lucky. I mean, seriously. So anyway, so then Angie just, I mean, she keeps going for it. Lisa calls her at one point evil. I mean, Angie's like throwing her American Express cards, all her credit cards at her, including her black Amex. And I love Heather. Heather's like, I've never seen a black Amex before. Like, I mean, crazy, right? I mean, just they were going to kill each other for sure. So then Lisa decides to was it Lisa's turn or was it Heather's turn first? I think it was uh Heather's turn. No, it was Lisa's turn. Lisa goes and sits down with Terrence. And let me tell you, like, he's like, what's the disconnect with basically you and your husband? And like, I mean, she just starts bawling into tears. And then you start thinking, like hindsight, right? You start thinking. So in, what was it, the first episode or second episode when they were going to that socialites party? I mean, her and her husband were in the SUV driving there. He's looking at her, not saying a word. She's looking at him, not saying a word. I mean, awkward, like seriously awkward, right? Then you're reading in these lawsuits that this guy that paid the Amex card, he was saying he paid it because she didn't want her husband to find out. I mean, like, you know, let's just say there's a lot going on there that we don't have a full story of. And Whitney's right. Like, she has to make her life look so perfect when it's not. And if she just made herself vulnerable, like, people would actually gravitate towards her, but instead she's like, no, my life's perfect, yours is not, and that's the way it is. And the cracks in that life are getting bigger, let's put it that way. So Lisa's with Terrence, and now everyone's talking to Angie, and so now Lisa comes back from the table, and these two pick up basically right where they left off. They're digging at each other, and and Heather's right when she was saying, this is who Lisa's always been. Like, it's true. It's how she's always been, you know? But Angie is denying that she was digging about anybody. And then Mary got into it. And I love Angie and Mary's friendship. And this kind of was sad to see because you could see that their friendship was like cracking here. But she was like, listen, Angie, when you were friends with Lisa, you did it. And you see where Angie's like, like, okay, maybe I did, you know. But then it was Angie's turn to sit with Terrence. And Terrence starts going on, telling her about how they're going to be traveling in June. And there's going to be an injury, not to her child, but to the horse, because they go for horse shows. And so then she gets back to the table and she's talking about that. And it's crazy because how each one like goes back to the table. They just pick up where they left off. I mean, this fighting was like to a whole other extreme between these two. I was here for it secretly, but and then Angie's in hysterics, and then next minute, out of nowhere, by the way, Lisa Barlow is like, yeah, you and the suit man. Who's the suit man? Can somebody please write in the comments down below? Could you please tell me who the suit man is? Where did the suit man come from? I need to know about the suit man. Seriously, I need to know about the suit man. And I love how Meredith was like, wasn't there something about soup in a Seinfeld episode? And she's so right too. Do you remember that episode where it was like, no soup for you? Remember that? Anyway, I don't know if you remember or not, but I want to know about the soup man. I mean, I literally came away from this episode going, who's the soup man? I want to know who, what, where, and how about the soup man. Like, seriously. And so now Heather's at Terrence, and Terrence is telling Heather that this is a year for rebirth, which we knew. Her youngest is getting ready to go to college, and then he's like, what is this about, you not being basically successful at love? And she's like, oh God. Then Whitney sees Terrence, and Meredith I mean, they all got something from Terrence, but Meredith was kind of interesting because he's telling her, like, there's a friend amongst you that's not really your friend, you know. And Meredith's like, interesting. But see, Meredith kind of goes to the fight quietly, but brings a stick. You know what I mean? Like, she sits back and she listens and she watches. I mean, Meredith's not stupid. Let's not get it twisted, you know. And then next thing you know, Mary and Angie are going at it, and Mary's like, I'm out of here. And I mean, this is all from Lisa having a big stick up her butt. And, to be honest, Lisa's the one that caused all the problems. Like, seriously. And not just this episode. I mean, like Heather said, this has been going on for a long time. And you see in the previews for next week where Heather's like, you're a risky friend. It's so true. Like, you don't want to tell her anything private. I mean, look what she did to Bronwyn, right? Because she'll hold on to it in her back pocket and she'll wait, and then she'll throw it at you when you least expect it. And it won't be positive. And, listen, you always have to have a villain. And Lisa Barlow has always played that villain role. But this year, she's taken it to a whole new level. A whole new level. And I gotta tell you, like, I'm not feeling Lisa Barlow. Like I said, I've never been a fan of hers, but like, there's something really wrong with that chick right now. You know what I mean? Really, really wrong. And maybe it's the pressure of all these lawsuits, pressure of her marriage that is making her act out even more so than what she usually does. Possibly. But basically, this whole episode was Angie and her just going at it. Summing it up in a nutshell, right? And, but we do see for next episode how Heather's also inviting all the ladies. She's setting it up for, what's his name? The captain from, is it Below Mediterranean? Below Deck Mediterranean? Anyway, they're getting ready to go on a yacht, and of course, Bronwyn's like, yes, it'll be fun. It'll be exciting. I think the next episode will be good. Hopefully, it won't be like one of these la 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 things where it's not Angie and Lisa going back at it again, because Angie tends to rub me the wrong way too, but Lisa, like I said, is on a whole new level. A whole new level. Mm-hmm. So tell me, what'd you think? What do you think about Lisa Barlow this season? Is she the same Lisa Barlow? Has she kicked it up a few notches? You know, what do you think of Angie? Do you think that it's true what she said, where she was like, I'm not going to lie down and take it anymore? I mean, is it true? Or do you think she's playing victim? Do you think she's just as bad as Lisa Barlow? I want to know it all. And by the way, let's give a little giggle here. Because from all the expressions, the best one was Bronwyn. When in the beginning of the episode, which I forgot to tell you about, when Angie's talking about selling her house and how they have this modern house with small yard and she would love to have a horse farm and stuff. Lisa Barlow's like, I would be a good farmer for like 1 week. I would be really good. I would be really good at it. Bronwyn's expression is like, really, girl? Really? But that's how Lisa Barlow is. She thinks she's perfect. She has the perfect life. Everybody else's sucks. And I mean, that attitude this year, it really is rubbing me the wrong way. It really is. But now, not only do I want your comments about Angie and your comments about Lisa Barlow, but I really want to know about the suit man. I'm serious. Please, somebody out there, tell me about this suit man. I want to know who the suit man is. I want to know where you can find the suit man. I want to know what kind of soup is he making. I want to know how everybody knows the suit man. And I want to know it all, don't you? Make sure you comment below. Also, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and don't forget, here we break the dish.